For this lesson, I want to talk about printed circuit boards, where to get the material, what kind of material to get. What I recommend, you do not, everything that I do is recommended. You can make up your own mind, make your own mistakes, etc. Show you where to get the PCB, where I get it, how to cut it, how to clean it, and then we're going to show you how to laminate. So let's get started here. Go to eBay, go search for anything, and let's look for copper clad board. And you're going to come up with a large number of sources of board, okay, at different prices, different types, different what have you, okay. Now my choice is a vendor called AA7FO, so the first item that comes up here or wherever, click on it. You will go to a page which has, I happen to pick here, 6 pieces of double-sided AA7FO. That's too thick. Let's go over here to the seller's other items, and we'll find out that he's got a ton of boards, literally. You know, all kinds for all seasons. He's got 224 items. I'm gonna recommend, if you're an absolute beginner, to start with 0.030 inch thickness. This is less than a millimeter, I think, and it's kind of flexible, but it's easy to work with as far as cutting it, etc. Now, you determine what your budget is. If you think you want to try this and you're not quite sure, just get a small sample. Here's 8 pieces for a 3x4, so that's $1.25 or something, maybe $1.30 per board, which is cheap, and we're not going to do anything starting off 3x4. But eventually we may want to get to 4x6. Now here's 5 pieces for $14. That's nearly $3 a board. That's on the high side. If you think you can stick with this, and you can stick with me, and I'll guarantee you we'll use up all the boards. Let's get here's a good deal. No, it's ½ ounce. I want the thickness of the copper to be at least 1 ounce. Let's find here's 100 pieces. 3x4 is too small. Now here's 50 pieces for less than $1 a piece, but that's a good chunk of money, $45. 030 4x5, and I think that there may be a 50-piece thing for 4x6. You look through here and see if you can find a good deal on 4x6, 030, 1 ounce, double-sided. Let me do, okay. So find some board. Okay, you're going to get the board. We got your first project, hopefully, is to build the transistor frequency fixture to test some transistors, just as an example to get started. So we've got that. Now we're going to cut the board. I'm going to make a little video here, but I'm going to use a paper shear. Now if I go to Amazon, these are my favorite places, and get a paper shear cutter. Oh, a guillotine. That's what it is. Get one of these. Now this one right here, I just ran across this. I take books and I cut them up and I scan them because I prefer to read off of a screen. And this thing was a couple of $100. This is pretty good. Anyway, look for the cheapest cutter you can find. Now these wooden ones, like this, those are the best, but that's $64 or whatever. And I'm just to set up for beginners. I bought one that was $20. Let me see if I can find it. Cheap. Here. This is it. It's now $25. I guess the tariffs kicked in. But I'll show you how it's good enough for cutting 030. If you get one of the heavy duty ones, I don't know if that's made out of sheet metal or what. You may already have a paper cutter, but anyway, $20 here. Or you can use 10 snips. We'll do a board and remind me, and I'll get my scissors here and we'll try the scissors. Okay, we got a way to cut it. Now, when you cut it to size, you want to clean it. And what I do is I got from Home Depot this 3M vinyl stripping pads. There's 2 of them for $4. One pad will last you years because it's not much wear and tear on the thing. And we're going to do 2 things with the pad. One, after you get it cut, you're also going to need a sanding block with some sandpaper because we're working with a rosin epoxy fiberglass substrate, and that stuff is tough and it will cut you and make you bleed, so be careful with it. You need sandpaper and a sanding block to sand the edges. Even when you get it from ABC Fab, you ought to sand the edges because he shears it also, just to keep it on the safe side. And when you shear it, there's a possibility that there'll be a kind of a sharp edge created. We'll sand that also. Cut it, sand it, and then using the 3M pad, rub it back and forth on both surfaces. If it's double-sided, on the copper side only, to make it shiny, get a thin layer of oxide off, and you keep your cotton picking fingers off of it. So use gloves, clean gloves. After you scrub it, I just brush it off, whatever. I never use chemicals on the copper. I haven't found anything that didn't later tarnish it. Okay, we got it cleaned. Now we're ready to apply the toner. So I'm going to stop here and I'll come back and we'll show you how to cut. Though you probably learned that in school somewhere. Okay. I already cut the board once, but here this will start out as a 4x6 board, 030, and I cut it with this paper cutter. So that's the board I'm going to use to put the transistor tester on. Let me show you how this works. Now this is a $20, now $25 board. What you do is and what's nice is you can start here, and this started at 9, so if I want to, I'm going to cut this 3 centimeters. So 3 from 9 is 6, so I set it right there, and you set it up against there. Now this thing's going to exert some torque, so I have a little piece of scrap board, here it is, that I just flush up against here. Alright, hold it down, and then just cut. Now listen and learn. Oh, okay. Whoops, didn't cut all the way through for some reason. Okay, there it is. I am weak and the board is strong. So that's what you get, and it makes a nice straight cut. Parallel. Take your calipers and measure if you want. Now, because it's 030, it flexes a little bit. You may need to just, here I am handling bare hand, but I'm going to clean it. So we've got the board cut. And that's why I recommend 030. If I try a thicker piece, it won't work. Now this is, here's a scrap piece. Let's see what happens if I try to cut this with scissors. You can cut it, but it's kind of ugly and it's bent. Let's see if I can straighten it out. Whoops. Let's do this with a gloved hand. So you have to work with it. Doesn't work as nicely as a paper cutter. Okay, I'm going to take this to the garage and I'm going to take my board. Which one was it? I think it was this one. Yeah. Okay. And you get from Home Depot for $4 3M final stripping pads. You get 2 of them. That's $2 a piece. I just threw my old one away the other day. Been used for a couple of years. They'll last you a long time. What I do is I'm going to go out to the garage, set this on a piece of plywood, hold with my gloved hand, also put a gloves on my other hand, then just run this back and forth, turn it this way. You can already see it. Oh, I'll scrape my thing here. Run it back and forth on both sides until it's nice and bright and shiny. Don't touch it with your bare hands, except maybe by the edges. Take sand block and sand all 4 sides on the edges. Then use a brush or whatever and get all the dust off here that you can. Just figure out something. Get it clean. No chemicals. Now you're ready to apply the layout pattern using the toner transfer. So that's it for today. Thank you for your time. And we'll build something tomorrow.